Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 6th grade concept of fractions, decimals, and percents. This is standard 6.4G in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 34 off the 2024 released STAAR test. This is a new item type called drag and drop, and if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we've got answers that we can choose from here. And you notice if I just try to select one and move on, it is going to give me an error message. And what you'll notice here is that we're trying to find equivalent values for 3/8. We need to find two answers, and it's not going to matter in which order that we put this. So this isn't like an inline choice in which we have to find a specific one. We need to find two correct answers, but they can go into either box. So we are looking at this simple quantity, 3/8. We need to find equivalent, right? And you see that word equal in the front part of equivalent. What is equivalent to 3/8? And then we see 38, 38, 38, and 375, 375. Okay, so we see a lot of threes, some eights, sevens, and fives. Let me show you two ways that you can find equivalent fractions, decimals, and percents of 3/8. One option is to look at place value. So when we're looking at place value, right, we've got our ones place, we've got our tenths. I'm going to write that as 1 over 10. We've got our hundredths. I'll write that as 1 over 100. And then our thousandths. I'll write that as 1 over 1,000. So my question is can I generate an equivalent fraction in which I can find a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000? Because if I can find an equivalent fraction and get my denominator to change into 10, 100, or 1,000, I've got my place value right here, and I can put it in one of these spots. So here's the thing. When we're multiplying, you can't multiply anything by 8, at least not a whole number. You could if you did a decimal, but let's look at whole numbers. You can't do anything times 8 to get you to 10. That's fine. So start with 10, and then think, can you multiply anything times 8 to get you to 100? Well, you get close, right? 8 times 12 is going to be 96. So that means 8 times 13 is going to get you, it's going to be too big. It's going to be 104. So then you have to look at 1,000. And you can. And this is just something peculiar to the eights. If you ever have a fraction and the denominator is 8, the only easy denominator you can change it into is 1,000, and it's going to be 125. That's just something I remember. If not, you can kind of divide 1,000 by 8 to figure out what it is, but it's 125. So let me show that to you. Multiply that by 8, that's going to be 40. That's 16, that's 20. That's 8, that's 10. So if we multiply the top and bottom by 125, we're going to get an equivalent fraction, right? Because this is equal to 1. When you get a fraction that has the same numerator or denominator, it's equal to 1. So we're not changing the fraction, we're simply making it look different. It's 15, 6, that's 7, 375. So one way to say, well, this is 375 thousandths, which means I can now write that over here. My 5 is going to go in my thousandths, because that's the last spot, and I can say 0.375. So I can grab that right there. Three of the remaining options are percents, and the last one is a decimal, and I know it's not going to be the decimal, so how do I change that to a percent? Well, once you get there, you can move the decimal over twice. Really, you're multiplying it out of, multiplying about 100 because it needs to be out of 100, and then that's going to be 37.5 or 5/10%. Now, you can put those in either order. The other way you could have done this is whenever you have a fraction you want to turn into a decimal, right? You can always divide up, right? And that's going to be 3, 24, 6, 7, right? 56, 4, 0, 5. That would have got you the same thing, dividing up.